Hello, this is Alessandro with Eva.Guru, the Amazon repricing software tool. Today I'll have a general overview of our platform so you can get a general idea and a quick start. I'll start with the executive dashboard, and this is to keep track of general information about your store, your profits, and your marketplace details. You can also have an overview of the SKUs, the buy box statuses, and the pricing activity. By scrolling down, you'll see the sales and finance chart where you can keep track of all of your costs, all of your sales and profits. All of the graphs that we have in our platform are color-coded and interactable. So you can click on this one and it'll bring you down to the expenses, refunds, and COGS section. All of the information here is exportable and modifiable, such as this graph that will allow you to choose the month. Scrolling down, you'll see a sales order heat map, which will allow you for your United States stores to view a heat map of the states that you're selling the most. This is good to view your advertising information and to make warehousing decisions. If you are an FBA seller, you will be able to see below here the information pertaining to your FBA operations, such as the storage fees and inventory. As I mentioned before, all of the charts are interactable. Moving on to the Operations Center, you can see your daily sales. Your daily sales will list all of the ASINs that are sold in that day, such as Tuesday, but furthermore, you can expand on this information and let's say choose Tuesday of last week and compare the 2 days, allowing you to extract a weekly performance. The information that you can see here is the sales units, the average selling price, and the SKU refund rate. From there, we can move on to the top ASINs. The top ASINs are a function of the Pareto distribution. For example, a lot of the times 20% of our products do 80% of the profits. So we list your top 10 ASINs here so that you can keep track of. Something that I forgot to mention earlier is every ASIN that is listed can be clicked on that will bring up the ASIN specific information. I'll get into this in a bit, but let's move on to the top ASINs. If you want to expand on the information and not only view your top ASINs, you can view the other ASINs in the ASIN segmentation tab, where you will be able to see not only the top, but the medium, low, and other selling ASINs. As I mentioned before, by clicking on any of these ASINs, you will be able to review the SKU specifically. Moving on, I'll skip the pricing management for now because it's the most detailed information, and I'll start from the help. So the help will bring you to our help desk page that you can get and review all of the information at your own pace. If you run into any issues and you need any extra help, you can always click our 24/7 live chat support where you can reach our team and get assistance. Arguably the most important setting is the theme customizer where you can choose the colors that you want to see on the entirety of the ad. Moving on from there, we can move on to the settings. So in the settings, you can have your general settings, your user settings where you can add additional users to access your store, and you can also set permissions in order to control what they see. You can change your password and also edit your payment method. Moving on to the search product bar, you are able to search ASINs, which are the same search as the Amazon panel, but here it is to keep everything into one area. There's not much to say here, so I'll move on. There's the inventory management section here, where you will be able to see inventory specific information, such as the replenishment simulations. And in the replenishment simulations, what EVA does is we are able to calculate your SKUs in a interval of days. So we are taking your inventory levels, your velocity, and calculating it in a number of days. From there, we are able to determine 3 settings, or 3 timeframes that is settable by you, and you can access them by hitting this drop-down menu. Then, with a one-button simulation, you can simulate how much it would cost to reach that interval worth of inventory. We also list the ROI, or the highest performing SKUs, from top to bottom, so that you can keep track of what you need to replenish first. Alongside that, we get a review of what exactly is in that interval. So here we have the replenishment quantity, or the replenished quantity, and the replenishment quantity. All of these intervals are also notified by a bell icon. So a red bell is the same thing as the 7 days, and an orange bell is the same thing as the 21 days. This is replicable across all SKU sections throughout the platform. So whenever you see a red bell, it symbolifies the inventory management. Another action that you can do here is select, for example, a budget. So if you would like to know how much $2,000 would cost, or how much $2,000 would benefit you, you can select that, and here we list from top to bottom the highest performing SKUs that you should replenish with $2,000. Moving on, we have the returns management area. The returns management area is a way to monitor all of the SKUs that are being returned. This is especially helpful if you would like to make decisions based on the items that you want to have returned to you. Meaning that if you are interested in the future to use 3PL services, you can monitor which of the inventory you would like to send to a 3PL service and have them review the SKU and maybe sell it for you as a new product. This is also important to monitor the inventory that maybe you would like for the customer to keep, or you would like Amazon to dispose for you, because sometimes we know having an item returned to you can cost more than actually disposing of it. A newly added feature that we have is the inventory management section with the purchase orders. Here you can add purchase orders. Purchase orders will allow you to increment the accuracy of your profit analytics, meaning that by connecting the costs applied to a specific purchase, you will be able to determine during that day the different costs and profits. Moving on to the reimbursements. Eva has a team of real Amazon experts that are able to see all of the items that are lost in the warehouse, damaged in the warehouse, lost inbound, damaged inbound, items that have customer service issues, customer returns, and so forth. We are able to file the claims on the behalf of you once you've given us permission to your store. Once that has been made, we are able to file claims and make sure that Amazon is getting or is giving you all of the money that they owe you. Our main feature here is to be as transparent as possible to make sure that you have all of the necessary information to keep track of every single claim. By clicking on this graph, you will also see an overview of that specific month. All of the information here is exportable as well. Moving on to the advertising section, this will allow you to see the same advertising analytics that you will get from the Amazon Seller Central, with the added bonus of adding your advertising costs to your profit analytics. We can see an example by clicking on an SKU, filtering it, and then going to the pricing actions. But before I go there, let me explain the pricing management section. This is the most detailed and complex part of the platform, although with good measure, it allows you to have all of the settings from here. If you have many SKUs and you want to manage them in bulk, you can request for a pricing template and change all of the minimum and maximum prices of the SKUs from here. If you like, you can also manage all of the settings directly from there by downloading an advanced settings template. Once you're done editing that, you can click on the upload template, and here we've added a feature that will make sure that the upload has gone through well. And then, for example, if you have any failed SKUs, it'll be shown on the bottom here, and you can download only the failed SKUs, so you can be sure that you don't have to go through all of the XLS all over again. We also have a button here that will export as filtered. What this means is that once you've made some filters here, you are able to export the information listed below in a filtered XLS. You can also search for ASINs from this bar and export as filtered. Getting into the settings, we can see that not only EVA is able to maximize the buy box and increase your profits, we're also able to control the algorithm. This is done by some settings such as the scheduled pricing that will allow you to change the minimum price and then decrease that minimum price by a certain percentage every number of days. Moving on from there, we have the fixed price, which is quite self-explanatory, that will allow you to set a price that doesn't change. Moving on from there, we have an MAP price, which allows you to set a minimum price for a specific number of days or a specific time frame. Moving on from there, we have a target velocity pricing that allows you to set a target velocity that is reset daily. By setting an initial price every time you reach the target velocity, you will have an increase in the price by a specified percentage rate. This will allow you to slow down your velocity when you reach the target and increase your profits if customers decide to continue. Moving on, if you're worried about your FBAs competing with FBMs, you can select to compete only with the same fulfillment type. In this particular SKU, being an FBA SKU, it will only be showed to compete only with the FBAs here. Moving on, we have the buy box sharing, which is our very best feature to allow you to control the aggressiveness of the algorithm. The way EVA works is that we always win the buy box. Once the buy box is won, we increase the price to maximize your profits. But you might say that sometimes winning the buy box might drive a price war or might decrease your profits too much. So by clicking on this feature, you can select a specific percentage that you're interested in owning the buy box. So within a time frame of 24 hours, you specified here that you would like to win the buy box 20% or 26% of the time within that day. What EVA will do here is it will aggressively win the buy box until it reaches 26% and then maintain that 26%, sharing the buy box the rest of the time. Other features that we have here is the low inventory alert. The low inventory alert will allow you to protect your inventory. Just as we had in the replenishments panel, by calculating your inventory in a number of days, we are able to determine that within the 5 days of inventory, you would like for this feature to kick in. This feature will increase your prices by sharing your buy box, slowing down your sales velocity. This is to make sure that you are not running out of stock. Running out of stock will decrease your IPI score. So you don't want to have a low IPI score. That's it for these features. These features are also available in the Manage Settings tab here, which will allow you to change these features store-wide. So store-wide features are to compete with the same fulfillment type, enable a buy box sharing for the entire store, or apply a business price to your entire store. This is for wholesalers, or sellers that do B2B operations, applying your Amazon business price to your entire store, or your Amazon business account prices to your entire store. Moving on from there, we have the minimum price. EVA only requires you to have a minimum price to be able to start repricing. This is because it takes into consideration over 600 competitive scenarios and looks into all of your competitors to make all of the pricing calculations. By setting a minimum price, we're able to understand that EVA should never go below that price. The max price is automatically calculated by Amazon's fair use prices, so you don't have to enter that manually. Once you've done and entered your minimum price, you can go ahead and select the pricing enabled toggle, and EVA will take care of the rest. If you would like to fine-tune your minimum price and maybe choose a better price for you, what you can do is enter your costs or any additional costs from here. EVA will automatically be able to get all of your fees from Amazon, and then from there you can select a desired ROI or a desired margin percentage and calculate an optimal minimum price. If you would like inversely, you can select a desired minimum price, and by hitting calculate you will see a margin or an ROI percentage listed here, according to that minimum price. Furthermore, you can enable the pricing directly from here and set the minimum price. Moving on, we can filter for some SKUs, and we can get into that tab that I spoke about earlier and look at the detailed information of the SKU. By clicking on Pricing Actions and Analytics, we will jump into this section. Here you will see all of your competitors, your minimum and maximum prices, and the percentage of buy box ownership. The percentage of buy box ownership is within the last 24 hours. And here you will see all of the pricing actions as well of EVA. So here you can see EVA in action, decreasing the prices, winning the buy box, and increasing the prices. Next, we can move on to the order and inventory. So if this item is an FBA, you can have all of the FBA information here and review the units sold, the refund rate, and the average selling price. By hovering over the graph, you can get detailed information of this. Next, we have the profit analytics. And here, as I mentioned before, you have the advertising sales and also the advertising costs. This is only if you connect the advertising account to your store, and you will be able to reach the maximum amounts of cost information available for your profit analytics. Here you can go into detail and select the last 30 days or the last 60 days and click through the days of SKU information. Next, we have similar products pricing. This is mainly for our private labels, but we give you the additional benefit of being able to search for similar products that you would like to keep track of. This is something nice to have to keep track of products. So for example, sometimes the gasoline prices might raise the prices of cars. So if you would like to keep track of maybe something like that, you can go ahead and add a similar product here, although this is just something that is fun to have for you. Moving back to the pricing management, we can see that is it. We have some other information based on your SKU here, such as the available number, the FC transfer, the inbound, the purchase orders, and the 3PL received items. Now, the 3PL received items is very special because we provide 3PL services for our United States customers, third-party logistics. That ties into also the returns and the replenishment intervals and the returns management. You can use our warehouses to basically fulfill by merchant or FBM, and we have additional services that allow you to send your items to us where we can do pick and pack, and we can manage the returned items to maybe sell as new. That is it for our panel. It's been a pleasure to have you with us, and we hope that you have fun testing out Eva. Have a great time.